Hello, my name is Mark Compton and I'm the Lord Prior of the Order of St John internationally, and it's a special delight for me to be able to join you via this video message to celebrate an important milestone of the 75th anniversary of the Priory of St John in Canada. We meet at a time where COVID continues to ravage the world. So many lives tragically lost, so many people infected and unwell, and of course enormous demand on frontline workers, particularly in healthcare, in meeting the pandemic need. And I pay particular tribute to St John people in Canada for the work that they have done in challenging the COVID pandemic in Canada and doing the best they can to care for Canadians who've been afflicted by this terrible virus. The Order of St John is one of the oldest humanitarian organisations in the world, and today we are established in about 40 different countries with about 300,000 members, touching the lives of approximately 4 million people a year. By any measure, a large international humanitarian organisation of which we can all be very proud. Canada, of course, is a very important part of St John worldwide, and the work that it does as a priory, and indeed every single Canadian member of St John, makes that contribution to the worldwide effort of St John. We're all part of something bigger as we do our bit each and every day. Canada is the second largest priory in our network, and so much to be proud of in terms of the breadth and scale of activities that it undertakes. Although St John has been in Canada since 1883, its turning point to be a priory came in 1946, and in some ways this was recognition of the impact that Canada had in the Second World War. Many St John volunteers became part of the VAD, the Voluntary Aid Detachment, and there are approximately 220 young women who were deployed to act as ambulance drivers, nurse assistants and so on. And so recognition of a transition to priory came because of that particular effort from those women, and indeed all of the other St John people who supported them. Today, the Priory of Canada has some 19,000 members who annually provide over 1 million hours of service to their communities. St John Ambulance trains something in the order of 500,000 people each year in first aid and CPR. The medical first responders provide first aid coverage at over 8,500 events each year, intervening in over 20,000 incidents and saving countless lives. The therapy dog visitations alone provide something like 250,000 hours of furry, four-legged care and comfort to those in need. Still evolving and still innovating, St John Canada has integrated mental health awareness into its standard first aid training programs. We understand that mental health first aid is an integral part now and should be placed on it in terms of its role in the community. St John Canada has developed its own mental health and wellness program for the workplace, which I understand is offered one-on-one, in person as it were, and also virtually. With the ongoing crisis in substance abuse, not only in Canada but across the world, St John Canada teaches people about opioids, increasing their awareness about opioids and the evil they bring, and training them on how to recognise, react and reverse opioid overdose, again saving countless lives. With the start of the COVID pandemic that I referred to earlier, St John volunteers across Canada have stepped up to meet that particular challenge, a challenge we haven't seen in a century. And it's important to reflect that at the time of the last great global viral pandemic, the Spanish influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1921, St John worldwide also played a major role in caring for those who'd been afflicted, setting up field hospitals and nursing stations and the like to ensure that people were cared for as best as they possibly could. Volunteers in Canada have provided over 100,000 hours of support to frontline workers in long-term care facilities, assessment centres, isolation centres and distributing PPE wherever it was needed, including in remote northerly locations. With the development of vaccines, St John volunteers continue to support frontline workers as they provide assistance in vaccination clinics, our way out of this pandemic, right across Canada, including the presence of therapy dog teams to help relieve stress for those who might be nervous about being vaccinated. By any measure, St John Canada has an enormous amount to be proud of, and St John internationally has an enormous amount to be grateful for the work that St John Canada and all of the St John people in Canada do each year to contribute not only to the local community but also to that wonderful worldwide effort of St John. Enjoy this time. It's important to stop and reflect as we climb up mountains to think about how far we've come, not about how far we have to go. But stop and reflect and enjoy and celebrate the work that St John Canada and those who've gone before us have achieved. You have much to be proud of as a wonderful organisation and a wonderful contributor to the Canadian community. Yes, there's still much to do. Yes, there's much for us to do internationally. But thank you for joining the international ride and being part of it. I congratulate your leadership in Canada for the wonderful work that they are doing to support the global effort of St John and the leadership that they bring locally. I look forward to hearing more about the celebrations of your 75th anniversary as a Priory, and look forward to seeing you in person at the first available opportunity. Goodbye.